Hello friends, in the series on the income tax cases, today we will discuss the case of income tax officer versus NEUMEC builders and developers. This case has been reported in 104 ITR Tribunal, short note 62. The matter has been decided by Mumbai ITAT B bench and the date of the judgment is 30th May 2023. The purpose of discussing this case is that in this case, it has come out from the decision of the ITAT that how our income tax authorities misapply the provisions of the Income Tax Act to the detriment of the assessee and just to increase the litigation for the assessee. And the assessee has to incur a lot of cost in respect of money, human resources and time. In this case, the case of the assessee was picked up for section 148 notice. The notice was issued under section 148 dated 31st March 2016 for the reasons that the assessee has sold a property below the stamp duty valuation. During the assessment proceedings, the learned assessing officer referred the matter to the department valuation officer under section 142A. But when the assessing officer realized that the D.V.O is not sending the report, then the assessing officer passed the assessment order by making no addition and reserving a clause in the assessment order that when the report of the D.V.O will come, then the assessment order will be modified accordingly. And in that assessment order, the assessing officer also mentioned that if the report will not come within 6 months, then the assessing officer will do the assessment by taking the stamp duty valuation as the sale consideration. The assessee, although no addition was made in the assessment order for the difference in the stamp duty valuation and the sale consideration, but went into the appeal against these reservations of the assessing officer. The assessing officer, on the basis of the same notice, on the basis of the first notice, that is 31st March 2016, passed another assessment order by making the addition on the basis of the value of the stamp duty valuation. The assessee went into the appeal against the second assessment order also, and the CIT appeal deleted the addition by saying that on the basis of same notice, two assessment orders under section 147 cannot be passed. When the department moved to the ITAT upheld the order of the CIT appeal and deleted the addition, and it was the submission of the, and it was the point of the ITAT that in this case the assessing officer has erred in passing two assessment orders on the basis of the same notice dated 31st March 2016. The ITAT said that there is proviso to section 147 which says that if any issue is pending in the appeals, then on that issue no notice under section 148 can be issued and no reassessment can be done. It was the point of the ITAT that in section 153 there is a clause that for computing the period of the limitation for passing the assessment orders, the period on which the reference has been made by the assessing officer to the D.V.O for getting valued the property and the date on which the report of the D.V.O comes, that period will be excluded from the period for calculating the limitation period. But it is out of the box that without waiting for the report of the D.V.O, the assessing officer adopts the value of the stamp duty valuation. Once the assessing officer has referred to the D.V.O, then assessing officer is duty bound to accept the report of the D.V.O. It is not the case that the assessing officer will write in its assessment order that if the report will not be received within 6 months, then the stamp duty valuation will be the value of the property. There is nothing in like that in the whole law of the Income Tax Act. So the assessing officer has grossly misapplied the provisions of section 50C, 43CA, and in this case the assessing officer was not justified in making the addition on the basis of the stamp duty valuation without considering the report of the department valuation officer. The ITAT said that there is no law which allows the assessing officer without the authority of the law to pass the two assessment orders in respect of the same assessment year without the authority of higher administration. Friends, this case is very important because we know that in many cases it happens that when the assessing officer refers to the D.V.O for valuation, then the assessing officer do not wait for that report or pass some orders by taking the stamp duty valuation. Once the reference has been made, then the assessing officer is duty bound to consider the report of the D.V.O. At the end of this video, once again I am repeating the name of the case. The name of the case is Income Tax Officer versus NEUMEC Builders and Developers, and this case has been reported in 104 ITR Tribunal Short Note 62. The matter has been decided by Mumbai ITAT B bench and the date of the judgment is 30th May 2023. Thank you.